After finishing my first offshore race, it was time for my first ever cruising adventure. Now, for those of you new to my channel, I'm new to sailing but learned to sail through racing, so this was a change of pace for me. Having finished the race in Le Havre, we needed to get the boat all the way back to our home waters of Guernsey, and this was the perfect opportunity to learn some new skills not under the pressure of race conditions. And this meant venturing somewhere that I'm rarely seen, the pointier, wetter, less stable end, the foredeck. Motoring out of Le Havre on a misty morning, Ben showed me how to rig the spinnaker.
Around the forestay, like this. Yep. And then where? What's the pulpit?
Where I can talk to you. Go to the pulpit.
Okay, here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, so here, under that, and then we'll flip back.
Okay. Oh, that's, yeah, sure.
We're trying to make it a
no, not through there. It goes through here, doesn't it?
Looking back at this footage, it is so cringy. I didn't even know how to use a soft shackle, but I was so new, this whole concept was so alien to me.
So, is that okay? Outside here? And then the one with the ball bearings in. Yeah, sorry, I didn't realise it. So I'll police it then.
Top down.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Does it just go like that? It goes like that?
Yeah.
And same again.
Ali explained that if we needed the code 0, the bungee would get in the way. So when running the sheets, you always need to hold the bungee out of the way by holding it forward.
Okay, thank you. I'll check the other side. Oh, there's nothing on that one.
For those of you familiar with the code 0, you'll know, of course, it doesn't need more than one sheet. But I guess this just represents how little I knew about sailing. I didn't understand really under what conditions each different sail was used. A code 0 is used for reaching, that is when you're going across the wind. And it's really, really rare that you're going to need to basically do a 180 degrees turn and go back in the polar opposite direction, and therefore need the sail on the other side of the boat. So you don't need two sheets, you just need one. Back to the kite. The first step is to clip the sail bag correctly onto the deck. And the correct way is clipping the tack to the side that you're going to be hoisting the sail on.
We have 3 corners on a kite.
Yeah.
Name them.
Okay, so you've got the tack, you've got the clue, and you've got the bit at the top, which I assume is the head.
Yep. So, what's first?
You do the tack first? Yeah. Okay.
Go to the tack. Ease this bit of the tack out.
How do you know that's it's got that bit?
Other bits don't have that bit. It's also blue. Black tack off! Now what's wrong? We're hoisting to port and you're tacking on the starboard.
Okay.
So constantly the other side of the forestay.
Other side of the forestay?
Under the sheet.
Under the sheet. Okay, like that. You clip it on. DP's just like staring at this left.
I'm learning.
Okay.
Get the halyards.
Okay, right, and the halyard has to go on the grey bit of the sail. Which is, that's the red and the blue bit, isn't it? Oh, that's the grey bit, okay. But then that's the tape that shows where it's going?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know, is it in? Looks in.
Okay, cool. Okay, right, that's in.
What's next?
Do you attach the clue?
Yes.
So
how do you do that?
I have no idea because the ropes I'm not familiar with. Oh right, yes.
So what are you going to call? Starboard
sheet off.
Go under the soft shackle.
Okay.
Port sheet off. Don't lose the soft shackle.
Yeah.
If you just did it on now,
Yeah.
you'd be wrapped round and you'd be doing an outside
but you
jibe.
said that.
And if you did it that way round,
Okay.
you'd be on the doing an outside
so
jibe.
you need to undo it and go at either side.
Either sides. There you go. Now you're rigged for inside jibes. And
Do you always want inside jibes or?
unless it's really and there's two of you, yes, always want inside jibes.
Oh, okay. So
Oh, don't break the soft shackle.
well, I've never done this before.
Let go.
Okay.
Oh, saved.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't lose this hole.
Okay. Don't lose that hole.
Okay. Don't hold the soft shackle.
Don't.
Hold the sheets.
Go through. That comes off. Okay.
Okay. Now you need to sneak the tack.
But as luck would have it, our first stretch turned out to be a reach, more of a code 0 angle, which meant that we had to rig that too. At this point in my sailing journey, the code 0 was by far my least favourite sail. Just every time we used it, something seemed to go wrong, and it would fill us all with a sense of dread.
Okay, Alex, you're about to learn another lesson.
2 lessons in one.
Stuff that tack back in the bag.
Ooh. Black tack off. Don't unclip it.
Pull back in the bag. Flip the back to that padai.
This one.
Yeah.
And to here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go foredeck.
Sorry. Go get 0.
Oh, look at that. Your mast
Ah.
is lovely. Shall we have a group code 0 session?
Yes. You love this, don't you?
You should do a crash course in Guernsey for all the South Africans wanting to sail.
Okay, what do we need from here? We need
You're
the
going
orange
to go and get
tack.
the orange tack.
Okay. The orange tack off. What, just take that off, like that? Okay. And just hold on to the orange rope. Okay, how much do I need of it?
Enough to get this to this.
Okay.
That's fine, that's enough.
That's enough. And does it go outside of the spee halyard?
We're going to take the spee halyard off.
Yeah.
That's going to be difficult.
Okay, so
So take that off.
okay, you clip it back at the mast.
Orange tack in. You need to be able to have a torch so you can see.
Yeah.
Keep going. Yeah, that's enough.
Okay.
Yep. So you have to be careful with the furler on this one. You have to make sure the furler goes on in the right direction. Or you
Okay.
won't be able to furl it. Because
Okay.
this has to be facing backwards.
Where does that clip at the front?
Like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a clip already on the drum.
And then we go with the orange tack.
Okay. And you've got to be really careful with this one.
Enough. Yep. Okay, now find the head. Now what do we need to do? Because they're using the starboard halyards for a port hoist. What do we need to do? We just go
Get it,
all
take
the
it
way
around the forestay.
Sit that. It's course on something.
The lesson here is that you always need to look up, because if you have the kite up and the halyards are crossed over each other, the friction can mean that you're not able to get the kite back down again, and then you're getting your knives out and cutting halyards, and that's really not that ideal.
Slips in like that. That's on.
Yep. Okay, who's our mast? Is that you, LV? So you're going to hoist our green halyards.
What do you do?
Hold on to this and hold this forward. So arm around the forestay. You got to stop it from whacking the mast.
Okay. Wait. Well, how do I do that?
By holding it. Take a shop saddle
Yeah.
onto the tack.
He meant the clue.
Now keep going.
Okay.
You are the tension. Watching that, Alex?
Yeah, I am leaning back, and it's right until you're in.
Still not there. What are you looking for?
I don't know what I'm looking. What
You've got
is?
that red, or in this case the green bubble. It's right at the top. See this?
Yeah.
Is it against the spectacles?
I can't see. My eyesight isn't that good.
Although I wear contact lenses, they're not perfect. I find it really hard to see right at the top of the mast, or even the creases on the sail to see whether it's set right. So if any of you have any recommendations for those of you that are short-sighted and that will enable you to see things better on the boat, please let me know in the comments.
A little bit more. That's it. That's it. You can hear it. That's it.
Okay, you can hear it as well then,
Yeah.
rather than just see it.
Okay.
Okay. Bumpy up here.
This is nothing.
I know. I've just got to get used to it.
Welcome to the foredeck.
And which way does it furl and unfurl?
No comment.
That we do
Whichever
not know.
way we did it last time. Careful with the furl.
Okay.
Hang off the sheet. Hang off the sheet. Excuse me. Oh, I hate this furl on the seat of burning passion.
What happened there then?
I don't know.
I can't, it won't.
You put the rope to the bungee and back to the toggle.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
There we go.
And then we were off.
Happy. Want to trim. Want to trim still. Happy.
This was also the first opportunity both myself and LV had at helming, which was a little bit scary. I'm really happy I managed to catch LV's first ever experience helming on Killing Time. She's had a lot more experience since then, on a different boat, doing the Cape to Rio race, which is a transatlantic, which in your first couple of years of sailing is a pretty big deal. But that's on a wheel, so slightly different to the tiller, but she's definitely got a lot more experience now. Then our angles changed, and it was time to furl the zero and put up the kite.
I was kicked out when I was like 14.
French sailor.
So, you're filming the winch. You're filming the winch.
Am I?
Yeah. Now you're filming me.
Sorry, do I need to adjust to get all your big head in?
There's a lot to fit in. You'll need the wide angle if you want to get my ego in there.
That we can agree on.
I went forward to see if the tack was made.
What?
Oh.
I didn't catch that, sadly. It needs more, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It just sounded so tight.
Keep going. Wait, slow down. I think that's made. Did you just trip and slide across the deck then?
Yeah.
Oh, I had the camera filming and everything and completely missed it.
And then it was time to switch back to the Code Zero and drop the spinnaker. Even in cruising mode, I guess we're racers at heart, and we were yo-yoing with whichever was the fastest sail.
So black tack, then red halyard.
Okay, and I just gather for the sail as quickly as I can and help stuff.
Yeah. Ready? Ease. Another halyard, another halyard.
The 0 was up and we needed to grind a bit more on the halyard.
Not far to go, okay?
Again, looking back at this footage, wow. My grinding technique is just atrocious. And for me, I can deal with not knowing how to use a soft shackle because I've never been on the foredeck. But I had been tacking and grinding and doing all that cockpit stuff for 6 months at that point. And that's a shoddy job. I guess that shows how far I came in the 6 months after that. But yeah, not impressed when I look back at grinding single-handed, not getting my body over the winch. No wonder I was struggling.
You're happy back there?
Oh. What are you looking at?
I missed your face. You're too big-headed.
Oh, look at it go! 12 knots, 300, 16 knots, close to 100 knots, 23 degrees TWA.
Oh, can see land.
Hold on, Alex is round.
Is it?
You spotted land.
I was at the first one. Mulfeets are in sight.
J'adore la mulfite.
I really hope I caught that.
Cheers!
Ben was giving me a lesson on how to stand correctly on the foredeck.
If you're here and it goes up, you're going over.
Yeah, okay.
If you're here and it goes up, you're leaning forward.
Oh,
Yeah?
And here we are prepping for our next spee hoist.
latch it over. I can see why you need knee pads.
Time to furl the code 0 yet again. We switched the autopilot on and turned our attention to more pressing matters, because no cruise is complete without French pastries.
One precious cargo.
I never saw any Zambias in that shop. They were
Really?
fine.
Oh.
I want one of these and one of these.
Get this.
Yopper now. It's perfect for cutting saucy saw and French pastries.
If ever I take my pocket knife out of my pocket and cut something for you, don't accept it, will you? I won't go into detail.
Oh no! Ron, can I borrow your pocket knife to cut the pastries? I've got some chocolate on the mic muff on my camera. I thought you were just helming there, Elvie, just like looking so chill at the back.
I've definitely got the hang of it now.
Put your left seat in, your left seat out.
Oh, that was a little wobble.
And next up, Preez and Ali trying single-handed jibes. Ben started rerunning the sheets so that we could do outside jibes.
Oh, so an inside jibe is where the kite comes in outside the forestay but inside the tack, but we've now rigged it so it's out. So what does that change? You just have to let it go further.
It's slower.
It's slower.
It's safer.
Safer.
But that's how it's wrapped it.
Oh really? Okay. But most of the time when we race we do an inside jibe, don't we?
Yeah, much faster.
Much faster. So we don't even run those sheets? Nothing.
This is as if there's two people on board and one of them's asleep.
Preez up first.
Nice. Oh.
Woo!
Nicely done.
And Ali's up next. Then it was time to take down the kites for the final time. So something we didn't catch on camera was when Elvie opened the hatch and didn't shout that it was open and Ben fell down it. So at this point, just shouting hatch open was really amusing for us. Might not be to anybody else, but we found it very funny. So we're going in for our second attempt at a speed drop. Do you think we've improved?
Ready?
3, 2, 1, go!
Yep. Yep.
How you doing? Do you know how to stop the flap?
I have no idea.
How to do the...
How to put on the anti-flapper was the last lesson of the day as we pulled into Cherbourg. The following day was blue skies, calm seas, but absolutely no wind. So we motored on back to Guernsey. Instead of the wet and lumpy ride we'd had the day before, Elvie and I found a much better use for the foredeck: sunbathing. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, it means a lot. In my next video, we'll be back in our home waters of Guernsey, racing around the island of Sark. If you'd like to see how we get on, make sure to subscribe. Have a great week.